Are you tired of setting really big goals and not reaching them? Today I'm explaining the difference between two types of numbers you can track for your business so that you can set better goals. Hi, I'm Sandra, and on my channel I help business owners get their shit together so that they can save time and make more money. So a KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator, and this is basically just a fancy word for tracking an important number. So examples of a KPI can be things like total amount of revenue, order total on average, amount of email subscribers, Instagram followers. All of these are types of KPIs or types of numbers you can track. Now, some of these numbers are more important than others, but if you've paid attention, you'll have noticed that none of these numbers are things you can influence directly. And that is also where a lot of goal setting or KPI or metric tracking goes wrong. We only track numbers that are a result. So for example, Instagram followers are not a number you can directly control. So although all of these numbers might matter to your business, it's important to note that these are all result KPIs or they're result numbers, and they're not actually things that you can control or influence directly. And as we all know, you can buy an email list, for example, and up the amount of email subscribers that way, but they're going to be way less qualified than if you grow your list organically. So not all metrics are created equal. Instead of tracking just these result-based KPIs, it's important to look for input KPIs. A better number to track would be an input KPI. So this is not actually measuring the result, but it's a number you track of the things you work on or the stuff you put into getting the result. So to make this clearer, something that could be an input KPI is the amount of podcasts you pitched this week, the amount of times you reached out to previous clients, the number of times you left a genuine comment on someone else's Instagram post. So as you can see, these are all actions. They're things you actively do to achieve a goal, which makes them much more controllable than the result of the action. This means that you have to be a lot more strategic with tracking your input goals. So for example, let's say one of my goals for the next quarter is to grow my email list. I'm not just gonna set a goal that says, oh, add 1,000 email subscribers. No, I'm going to look for specific input goals or input KPIs of things I can do to actually help me grow that email list. So to grow my email list, I could say, for example, that my input KPIs or the numbers I'm going to track are that I want to pitch 5 podcast interviews where I can link to my newsletter. I want to run 3 different versions of a Facebook ad with a $100 budget and see how many signups that gets me. And I might want to reach out to people that have a group and offer to host a free training in the group where I will again get a chance to promote my newsletter. So these are all things that I can actively track and monitor and do instead of just look at the results and not be sure where the result actually came from. So if you break down your result KPI into 1 to 2 or 3 input KPIs, you'll get much better results. So personally, I would recommend that you only focus on maybe a handful of these input KPIs at a time and make them dependent on your workload and what your life looks like, because you can definitely think of 20 of them, but if you're not going to do them, it doesn't make sense to do so. I personally have tracked these either on like a really big flip chart that I save behind my desk or just straight up as a goal in ClickUp, and I'll make sure to link the video of how I set up my goals in ClickUp below. If you don't want to use ClickUp, you can also use an Airtable spreadsheet or just a very simple Google Doc. Just make sure that you make it a part of your routine to update your metrics. So for example, every week on Friday, I plan my next week. And that's also when I update all of my goals straight in my project management software, but you can do it wherever you host your goals. But make sure that you keep an eye on these metrics and your input KPIs. So if you like this video, make sure to leave a comment or a like below. And thank you so much for watching.